the link, but we're back in. Hopefully you can hear me. And the guys will just be working on their setups and pit stop strategies. I don't believe that a pit stop is mandatory, but in a 40-minute race, some of the guys might decide to run half fuel, and some of them certainly might be wanting to change their tyres. God, this cameraman's a bit jittery, isn't he? Keep it straight. So this race is set at 4 PM and the conditions are officially overcast. This is getting ready for the formation lap then for the 4th race of the championship, 2nd of the day. The guys will get themselves organised, and hopefully with little trouble AOR Gizmo will get himself to the front of the field. He's already done that. Tom J in the green car will try and get him up to 2nd. Riding on board with Iobay, he's going to need to get himself 3rd from last. And the guys, Denzama needs to move up a bit. Let's see how quickly they can get into position. We've lost Tom, so that's a shame. Tom is missing. Whether that was a disconnect, I don't know. So we're down to 8 starters, that's a shame. So AOR Gizmo will start. Klangen will now be alongside him. Desperate to Play needs to get himself ahead of Fredegega. He's not done that yet. Then Denzamo. Iobay needs to get himself in front of Rob. And Washi's in the correct position at the rear. So the 40-minute countdown starts already. So this is a formation lap, but it goes towards the time of the race. And we're riding with AOR Gizmo, who needs to keep a nice low speed. And you can see from the map on the top right hand side of the screen, there's a blue dot in the pits. That's got to signify where Tom is. Now, have they guys sorted themselves out? So AOR Gizmo's there, Klangen 2nd. Desperate to Play, I believe, needs to get past Fredegega, unless the guys have somehow chatted about some incident they've swapped over. We'll have to wait and see. Denzamo's in the right place, and again Iobay, I believe, needs to get ahead of Rob, but we'll see. Always a bit of confusion here. Coming through turn 6 up to turn 7, which is called Bauer, and we're nearly ready to go. We're looking at Washi at the back, but AOR Gizmo is in control of this race. He's got a little bit of a lead there. Tom has unfortunately left the session completely, so AOR Gizmo will decide when he's going to go. Klangen is there, just itching to get on the accelerator. Fredegega is close behind. Desperate to Play goes a bit quick and has to back out the throttle, and he's going to suffer for that, but a good clean start from AOR Gizmo, who should lead. Washi is up to 2nd. Well, that's incredible anticipation, unless there was a problem there. As AOR Gizmo goes off, so does Fredegega, and Washi and Denzama, the 2 teammates who started 3rd and I think 3rd from last and 1st from last, are going to be 1st and 2nd. They are, but it's Denzama who leads. Washi is 2nd, Fredegega 3rd. Desperate to Play in the orange and black car is 4th. Washi goes up the inside of Fredegega, so incredible start. Washi's got himself up to 2nd place already. Rob 2K's had a decent start as well, up to 5th. Oh, and there's trouble here at the hairpin. Oh, Desperate to Play very nearly makes contact with Rob, and Klangen tries to get round the outside of Rob and take advantage. So Denzamo is pulling out a bit of a lead here. Fredegega's 2nd, Washi is 3rd, off goes Klangen, so he's going to lose a couple of spots. You're looking at Iobay there in 6th, AOR Gizmo. Fortunately not taking advantage of his pole, down to 7th place, but we are watching the battle for 2nd because Denzamo's 3.3 seconds ahead. At the end of the first lap, Fredegega goes ridiculously wide and Washi easily takes 2nd place, but Fredegega's going to be under pressure now from Desperate to Play and Rob 2K, who's not far behind. Rob tries to go to the outside of Fred. He's boxed in there a bit, and I think he's going to have to be patient. Yeah, he is. Oh, bit of strange lag there as Klangen goes in the inside of AOR Gizmo. Ayabe, who's not had a particularly good start, brings up the rear in 8th. Oh, off goes Fred Geiger. So he's down to 6th. So Denzamo's lead is 4.4 seconds. Desperate to Play is in a very good podium position. We're watching the two teammates, Ayabe and Fred Geiger, go into turn 3 together. AOR Gizmo's up now into 6th place. So Denzamo's, well, it's his race to lose even this early on. 4.7 second lead as Fred Geiger goes very slowly into the turn 4 hairpin. So we're watching Rob 2K, and now we're watching Desperate to Play, who is holding a very good 3rd position so far. Desperate to Play I'm trying to find his details on the screen. I'll come back to that. Has a different, completely different PlayStation name to his AOR name, so he's Errol P on AOR. Anyway, back to the racing, and how the battle's looking. Closest battle is between Rob and Klangen, 4th and 5th. Oh, as Desperate to Play runs really wide to the hairpin, and Rob 2K is going to get the inside. Slight bit of door banging there. Nothing too serious. Oh, there is proper door banging there. And I'll let you decide who's at fault there, but unfortunately Desperate to Play has paid the price of that. So Rob 2K goes up and Klangen's gone ahead as Washi is spun. Washi spins from 2nd place on the road, 3rd place I think he was, sorry. And Washi's all the way down to 7th. So the race 1 winner, the championship leader, is down to 7th. And how many positions can he make up from there? Well, there's still over half an hour to go. So again, we just caught the tail end of that spin. Number 21. Denzamo's lead is whopping 8.3 seconds. Rob 2K's a quick man, but I think that's going to be difficult for him to catch unless Denzamo has a problem. Again, we still don't know what's happening with pit strategies and who and whether and when anyone will come in. We're riding on board now with the leader, Denzamo. Immaculate racing line at the moment. Through the hairpin at turn 3. This short straight up to Fort Hasselroda. Sorry, no, now we're further around. This is Shell and Aman. No, this is Shell. I need to familiarise myself more with the lap. Into the last corner. Zeppelin curve. Very smooth. Up to 3rd, slightly over revving the engine, nothing to worry about there. 4th gear. Will he get to 5th before braking for turn 1? He does. Where's he going to brake? About the 100 metre board. Down to 2nd. I think he'll probably hold it 2nd round here in the dry. A lot of the guys were going down to 1st in the wet. So a good bit of onboard footage there from Denzamo. So his lead over Rob 2K is now 9 seconds. And this, meanwhile, is Washi trying to come back through the field. And he's up behind Ayabe, who was a pretty quick drive from the first race, so this might not be straightforward for Washi to get by. Klangen still holds 3rd place, and he's got a bit of a lead from Desperate to Play. So the top 3 podium positions are set at the moment, but a long, long way to go in this race. Klangen now in 3rd place, chasing down Rob 2K. Klangen's pace in the dry seems to be quite impressive. He's holding on to Rob. Klangen's results in the first 2 races were pretty solid. 7th place in race 1, 4th in race 2. Conditions shouldn't change that much as Washi gets past Ayabe, so he's made up a spot to 6th, and his next target will be AOR Gizmo. And no disrespect to AOR Gizmo, but I think Washi will be able to close that gap relatively quickly to the red car in front. You can see the damage there at the front of his car. So whether it's superficial, whether it'll be affecting his performance, we'll have to see. He's certainly doing decent enough times at the moment. And how far can he get up? So he's 19 odd seconds behind Denzamo. I don't know, I'm going to call it. I think he's going to get 3rd in this race. I think maybe Rob and Denzamo are going to be too quick, too far ahead of him. But I'm going to call that Washi may well still finish on the podium. Long way to go, still half an hour. round turn 3 up to turn 4, the turn 4 hairpin. Washi has closed that gap down to AOR Gizmo very quickly. Gizmo just runs some wheels on the grass on the outside there. Not too much of a problem. May have slowed him momentarily, and you can see he's hitting, if it was F1 I'd say purple sectors, but he's doing the best delta lap so far. Down to the last turn, turn 8. AOR Gizmo has a pretty good line through there. Oh, and Klangen's had a problem. He's had a big problem, so he's dropped down several spots, and Washi's going to overtake him. Excuse me. So Washi goes up into 5th. Klangen is down to 6th. So whether, again, that was an outbreaking incident, a semi-spin, we're not quite sure. So Washi's still got to get past AOR Gizmo to get up to what will now be 4th place. Denzamo still leads, 8.9 seconds from Rob. Desperate to Play is holding an excellent 3rd place, but only a couple of seconds ahead of this battle for 4th position. And Klangen, I think, will try and go with Washi and hold on to his coattails. And we shouldn't discount Ayabe, who's there in 7th. His teammate, unfortunately, Fred Geiger, is a long way back, 20 odd seconds behind Ayabe in 7th. So Washi, experienced guy, the coordinator of this league, leading the championship into this race. Very quick guy, and he'll be hoping to show that speed. As further ahead, we've got AOR Gizmo and Desperate to Play, and AOR Gizmo, fair play to him, last of the first race, starting on pole, had a poor start, but he's getting stuck in here, and he's going to go around the outside of Desperate to Play, and he's made it stick. Good move, up into 3rd. And Desperate to Play is now going to come under real pressure from Washi, who I fancy might have a go down into turn 3. No, he's not quite close enough. The guy's taking a good late apex through that turn. Short straight down to the hairpin at 4. They all get through there nice and tidy. Washi will be thinking, I need to get past these guys as quick as I can if I want to have a try and chase down Rob and Denzamo ahead. Oh, off goes Desperate to Play. So Washi didn't need to do much there. Klangen goes through as well, and I think Ayabe's going to go through. Yes, he does. AOR Gizmo in the background has spun. Oh, what a shame for him. He was doing so well there, sat in 3rd place. Fortunately, he's now down to 7th. So Washi is in a podium position much earlier than I thought, but he is there. And now we'll see what sort of speed he's got. He's 14 or so seconds behind, as Klangen has got a good run out of the last corner. It's going to go up the inside of Washi. Is there slight contact there, perhaps? Washi holds the position, so this is a cracking battle for 3rd. So Klangen's showing some good speed in this 2nd race. And don't discount Desperate to Play. He had that slight off, but he's holding on to the coattails of Ayabe. The lead at the front is still very similar, around 8-9 seconds. But Washi's not pulling away from these guys, perhaps as I would expect, as Desperate to Play and Ayabe go wide. I think Desperate to Play has gone off. You can just see him in the orange car, just out of shot. There he is. Oh, that's a shame. Car 39, so he's down to 7th place. But I expected Washi perhaps to pull away a bit quicker, but I do wonder whether Washi has got damage which is affecting his lap time from that earlier spin. Back to the battle for 4th place, Klangen. He's just dropped back a little bit from Washi on this lap, but he's got Ayabe all over the back of him. Is he quite close enough? I'd say no, unless he's going to go for a dive bomb. And there's been no real dive bomb moves. Some very good clean racing for what I've seen so far in this league, which is good to see. Oh, Klangen runs really wide, and so does Ayabe. They've found a new racing line out there. So we've got 20. I'm keeping an eye on that gap between Washi and Denzamo just to see whether we get indications whether his car's damaged. If it's not, I'd expect him to be at least holding the gap, if not slightly decreasing it. This is Denzamo, who's about to lap Fredegega. Gets nicely out of the way there under the blue flags. Oh, and then goes off a little bit, gets a bit excited. I know when I'm lapped in AOR races, which happens quite a lot, you're kind of determined, right, I'm going to try and follow this quick guy as much as I can, try and pick his lines and pick his braking points, but it never really lasts for very much longer. They lap you for a reason, don't they? Denzamo serenely leads on. He made an absolute cracking start. These rolling starts, you can have an amazing start if you just hit the throttle at the right point. And he and Washi were like lightning. It was the middle part of the field, I think, they had problems early on. Oh, look at Denzamo sliding it through there. Good stuff to watch this. His lead is still 8 seconds. Be interesting to know how much he's pushing, whether he's just maintaining that gap to Rob. So this is Fredegega, who's a lap down now in 8th. And the guys starting to get a little bit more strung out. The best battle is probably 3rd, 4th and 5th. There's still 4 seconds between those three. Riding ball with Rob 2K through turn 2. And he's now going to try and lap Fredegega. He will hopefully just pull out the way here, maybe. Yeah, he keeps wide. Good driving from the Kenyan. And Rob goes on his way. Apologies for some of the jittery pitches. I think that's just some lag. Joining now Klangen in 4th place. And, well, Washi's got a very slight lead over him, but Klangen's basically going with him. But the gap to the front between Washi and Denzamo is now increasing. So I think Washi is potentially slightly damaged here. If he is, and it's quite bad damage, he's actually doing a very good job to keep up pretty good lap times. 7/10 down on his best lap delta this time. Nice line through there. The car doesn't look too twitchy actually, so his experience of the car might be different, but it doesn't look as though it's handling too badly. Excuse me. So 22 minutes left. Lap 14. Denzamo leads Rob, and Washi is 3rd, Klangen 4th, Ayabe is 5th, desperate to play 6th, AOR Gizmo 7th, Fredegega is 8th, Tom retired between races 1 and 2, got disconnected I presume. So we have 8 runners, all running from those that started the race. As I said, next week, next Wednesday, we've got round 3, which will be another double header from Barcelona, the Catalonian National Circuit. So for any of you guys that know that circuit, maybe from F1 or other games, I believe it's where 3/4 of the way down the main straight it turns off right. So you miss off turn 2, 3 and 4 and then rejoin sort of halfway around the track. So that will be quite fun, especially into the complex towards the end of the lap. And then the last race will be the Circuit of the Americas, again the national circuit. So it heads off towards the end of the fast sweeping curves in the first sector and then rejoins, I believe, partway down the back straight. So that's all to come, but meanwhile it's a bit of a quiet phase of the race. Washi 20 seconds behind Rob and pulling out just ever so slightly from Klangen. The gap's now 3 seconds. And hopefully we'll be able to go on board with Washi shortly. So this circuit is one I don't think I've played in this game yet. Oh, we are on board with Washi. Modern style track, quite technical. cost 58 million euros to build. So it's 21 years old now. I can remember watching Formula 3000, I think, in the late 90s here. Not in person, on the TV. So nice to see Washi now, and this will give us maybe an indication as to whether he is bothered with damage. It all looks quite smooth at the moment, and the gap to Rob and Denzamo ahead is fairly stable. I think the top two are still slightly pulling away from Washi. Revving that engine nicely there, and he takes that corner first. So contrast to his teammate, he was taking it in second earlier on. Everyone obviously has their own different driving styles. Let's see if he gets up to fourth gear, sorry, not quite. Late apex. Through 3. Tiny straight to this hairpin at 4. The longer circuit goes off to the left there and then rejoins here. In the new GT5 season that will be upcoming, they'll be racing on the circuit, but it'll be on Oschersleben A, so it'll be the full configuration. So Washi now coming through turn 7. Medium braking down to second gear for turn 8, and across the line to start another lap. So this race is rocketing along now. We're now into under 20 minutes to go. And the positions are pretty static at the moment. We could do with some pit stops to line this up, to be fair. I take it probably no one is going to do a pit stop, as somebody would have done it by now as we're over half distance. Or we could do with some rain, which we're not going to get because we know the conditions are set just to overcast. But you do find, certainly I do when I do these slightly longer races, that you can get mistakes towards the end as concentration sometimes wanes. And when you're on your own, you just have to get into a metronomic rhythm and hit every braking point and hit the throttle at the right point. Try and look after the tyres as we go back on board with Denzamo. His lead has been around 8-9 seconds for a very long time, probably since about lap 3 or 4. So he looks like he's got this under control. I'm sure he'll be very wary if he comes up upon any back markers. I didn't see the incident, but I understand it was the last lap. The first race of Brands Hatch, he was leading, and there was an incident with a back marker, I'm not sure who that was, which caused him to go off, which allowed Washi, his teammate, through to win and Rob 2k to second. So he'll be really, really desperate to hang on to this win and get his championship bid started. After the last race, Denzamo has 15 points. Yeah, because he scored 0 in the first round. So he's a long way down the championship, but it is possible with some strong finishes he can get himself at least in contention for maybe the top 4 or 5 of the championship. So he crosses the line. Let's see if he's still taking this turn 2 in second gear, or whether he shifts it down to 1. No, nicely holds it in second. Now, looking at his fuel there, 16.6, is that litres or gallons, I'm sure, left. We're going to have to see how much he uses up in a lap, as to see whether he needs to make a pit stop. I don't think he will, judging by it. 16 minutes to go. No, I think he'll be fine. Fuel consumption in these cars is particularly high. As you can see, he's only at 16.3 already. So I think he's going to use about 1 in a lap. Gap's gone up a bit to Rob, who's 10 seconds now behind. Just keep an eye on the other gaps. Washi is now quite a long way behind the leader, 37 seconds behind the leader. Iobe and Klangen are relatively close to each other, 3 seconds apart. And then there's unfortunately big gaps everywhere else. Denzamo brakes hard down into turn 1. Race winner in F1, 2017. I'm sure he'll be taking part in F1 2018. Fairly new to Project Cars 2. I believe this might actually be his first official AOR Championship in Project Cars 2. So he's found speed straight away. And he's driving really smoothly. Doesn't look like there's a mistake around the corner. He's hit most of the apexes spot on. He's going to come up to Shell here. Turn 5. Nicely turned in. A man, turn 6. Misses the apex slightly, but that's not too much of a problem. He's got this cushion of lead to play with as well, so he doesn't need to be perfect on every lap. You can see he's coming up to lap, desperate to play, so he's going to lap up to 6th place. And this will give us a good indication between the quickest guy and a guy a little bit less quick further down this field, with the greatest respect to desperate to play. Hits the curb nicely there. Washy's dropping back. I think Washy's damaged. I do think he would. These two fairly well start. I think Washy would have started to just at least hold the gap, if not ease up on these front two. But 3rd place is good for the championship. And we're watching Denzamo still to see if he can make a clean move on desperate to play. I really wish I'd found out who it was that Denzamo got embroiled with, because it would make it a more interesting story. Maybe it was desperate to play, I don't know. Could have been anyone. 4 guys that were due to take part are not here, unfortunately. As Denzamo runs wide. And there you go, that's what I said. That could be a lack of concentration. So easily done. But again, he's got that gap, so he can afford to do that. The gap's come down to 6.5 seconds or so. So he doesn't really want to do that many more times, otherwise he will be under pressure from Rob. Iobay is only now 2 seconds ahead of Klangen, so that's probably the closest battle on the circuit. Denzamo's slight off there means he's got to go probably another whole lap before we can get close to lapping desperate to play. So good to have a mix of nationalities in this race. Mostly Brits, I have to say. In terms of the championship overall, not just the ones taking part in this race, we've got an Estonian, a guy from the Netherlands, Kenya, Spain, and all the others, I believe, are Brits. So the highest placed non-Brit is Iobay in 4th, the Spaniard. So you can see that Denzamo, this is where he ran wide before, a little bit more cautious, takes that nicely. Just keep an eye on that battle between Iobay and Klangen, because that's coming down. It's under 2 seconds now. And I think desperate to play. What a perfect spot for Denzamo to meet a back marker. As Fred Agega, we've got a pit stop. Something different to watch. So let's see if we can discern whether he's going to come in for fixing damage or a tyre change or fuel. I don't think he's going to be fuel. He's still got plenty of fuel left. Not a particularly brilliant shot through the fencing there. Oh my goodness. Whoa, that's made me dizzy. Oh, and he's reversed into the garage through the door. Brilliant. Don't you love it when these games do these things? That's hilarious. So I guess that's Fred Agega out of the race. He's just reversed himself into the pit lane. He's not showing on the chart anymore. So unfortunately we're down to 7. So we've lost him. We lost Tom in between the 2 races. So 7 drivers left. So AOR Gizmo looks like he may well pick up another 7th place. Back off board now, Denzamo. And his lead, while all that shenanigans was going on, has increased rapidly to 14 seconds. So I imagine Rob has had a mistake somewhere. It's caused him to lose, well, quite a lot, because the gap had come down to 6 seconds, so maybe 8 seconds or so. Washy is 40 seconds behind the leader. And the battle between Iobay and Klangen is the closest. There's now only a second between the guys. We're watching Rob 2K in second. As you can see, he's not setting quick times for him. Probably just happy to sit there in second place. This though is the battle we wanted to see. The closest one on the track, I Obey in fourth there in the blue Ginetta number 54, chased down by Klangen. And Klangen slowly started to reel in I Obey over the last few laps, and now the battle has joined as I Obey runs really wide out of the last turn. Is Klangen close enough to take advantage? I Obey goes to the inside, defends rather early, but there might be a good move, but Klangen has got the overspeed, as David Coulthard would say, and is through. But I'm not sure this battle is necessarily over with. I think I Obey's got the potential to still stay with Klangen and maybe have a pop back at him towards the end of the race. So we're down under 10 minutes now of the race. Denzamo's lead is 14 seconds. Washi is third behind Rob. Then Klangen, I Obey, desperate to play an AOR Gizmo. Now is Klangen pulling away from I Obey? Too early to tell, only half a lap in, but I Obey's kind of there. You can see further up ahead of the, just saw a flash of the red Ginetta, which is AOR Gizmo ahead. A little bit of a slide from Klangen as he goes through turns 5 and 6. Watching I Obey into turn 7. And he is holding on to Klangen. I don't think this battle is over with. So he'll just try and sit there, try and put Klangen under pressure. Oh, he's turned his lights on. He's not flashing them, which you would do if you come up to a back marker, which obviously Klangen isn't, but it does look pretty gloomy out there. This is of course a 4 PM start, so the race will be finishing at 5 PM. I didn't make a note actually the time of year this is supposed to be gloomy. And maybe this is just a bit of condology from I Obey, just trying to put Klangen a bit of pressure, have blazing headlights in his rearview mirror, we'll see. These two are definitely the battle of the race at the moment. Denzamo's lead, just keeping an eye on it out the corner of my eyes, still similar, 14 seconds. Big gaps everywhere else except for this battle for fourth. And I Obey definitely wants this position back. Number 54 in the two-tone blue coloured Ginetta. Through the quick turn 7. And they both come through there with a good line. And what's I Obey's exit like? Pretty good. Don't think Klangen's exit was too bad either. And again, it's going to be a dive bomb if it's anything. I don't think we're that desperate yet. We might see on the last lap or so as Klangen goes wide. So does I Obey. So I Obey has dropped back from Klangen. Just had a technical hitch there, so I hope you're still hearing me. I think that battle may well be over now. But we've got Denzamo, the leader, I believe, who's coming up to lap these two. Yep, there he is, Denzamo. Through the last turn. So he'll be getting nervous with these guys he has to pass, I'm sure. Under 6 minutes left of the race. Denzamo's lead is 15 seconds from Rob. I Obey is actually closing up on Klangen as AOR Gizmo very politely drives completely off the circuit to get out of the way. I'm guessing that was deliberate, or maybe he just outbraked himself anyway. But he does a good job, keeps out of the way. And Klangen actually know he's pulling away from I Obey. And Denzamo's got past him, so Denzamo's next target will be to lap the 4th place Klangen. I don't think he's definitely not going to have time to lap his teammate Washi unless Washi has a big problem. Nicely drifts it through. Turn 6 into 7. Denzamo looks like he looks like he's pushing quite hard actually. Maybe he's just having some fun. Sometimes you can drop off the pace if you've got a lead, and actually you're more likely to make a mistake if you drop off too much. Sometimes keeping up a good pace keeps the concentration up. Yeah, he's only a second slower than his best lap, so he's doing a decent pace. These tyres are obviously not wearing very much. No need to make a fuel stop. As you can see, he's still got 10.7, whatever that is, litres or gallons left, so no worries there. Klangen Ayabe battle is unfortunately over unless Klangen makes a mistake, because that gap's gone out to 5 seconds. Desperate to play holds 6th. AOR Gizmo some way back in 7th. So this is Denzamo, moves out of the way, does a good job there, but actually that could be a misunderstanding. I've done it myself when I've lapped. I pull off the racing line. If the guy's not expecting it, it could be a problem, but no issues there. Gets out of the way really nicely. So that should be it in terms of people that Denzamo has to lap, unless Rob or Washi have a problem. So 3 minutes 25 seconds left. So let's take stock. So Denzamo, who started near the back, leads. Rob, who started last but 1, second. Washi, who started last, is third. Then we've got Klangen Ayabe desperate to play as Denzamo runs a little bit wide into turn 1. No major dramas, keeps it together. Desperate to play 6th. AOR Gizmo is 7th. So I'm going to, whilst keeping an eye on that screen, just have a look at what the positions, if they stay this way, will be. So Washi and Rob. Washi will be on 90 points and Rob will be on 89, so it will be very close at the top of the championship. Denzamo will move on to 26 points, and if Klangen finishes where he is, he will move up to 50 points. Sorry, Denzamo will be on 41 points. So not long to go now. Denzamo crosses the line, lap 31. His lead is 15 seconds. Are there any other battles shaping up? Fortunately not. So it's a question of all these guys, they pretty much know they're going to finish the positions they're on at the moment if they don't make any mistakes. So they'll probably be, most of them, easing off and just trying to bring it home. Points for everyone's available. Certainly AOR Gizmo, no danger of missing out on points because of being outside 90% of the race distance. He's been lapped only once, I believe. Roddy on board with Rob 2K. That's an annoying little judder there from the windscreen wipers. Only a minute to go. Takes the hairpin at 4 nicely. Now into the quick stuff. 5 and 6. Just a slight feather of the throttle into turn 7. Gap to the leader is 15 seconds. We are really close to the end of this race. So hopefully we'll go back on board with Denzamo shortly. Here we are with Denzamo then. This will surely be his last lap. Great job, cracking start, that's where it was all really made for him. And he's going to move up in the championship to 5th on 41 points, I believe, if these positions are held. But as long as Rob and Washi come home, it will be Washi leading the championship on 90 points. Second place will be Rob on 89 points. Third will be Ibe on 56, but across the line comes Denzamo to get his first win of the season. Dominant display, brilliant effort, controlled the race from that very first lap. Going to watch Rob 2K come in. As I said, he'll be in second place in the championship. Denzamo will be 5th ahead of Desperate to Play. Mark C, Tom J, Fred Agega will be in 9th for the championship. AOR Gizmo is behind SM Deadpool. Mr. C is 12th. The quiz yet to score. Now we're going to watch Washi come home. So Washi came into this double-header race on the same points as Rob 2K and will come away with only a 1-point lead. But a first and third place is a really solid return, and you get a feeling these two friends will be battling it for the rest of the season, with Denzamo probably getting involved in the action as well. He's going to come around the last turn. Potentially damaged car, good performance, good recovery. After his earlier spin, Washi finishes 3rd. And there's your final positions then. Denzamo from Rob, Washi, Klangen, Iobay, Desperate to Play, AOR Gizmo and Fred Agega. Fastest lap, let's see who that was. It was in fact Denzamo, 1:11.6. Yeah, you see Washi's fastest lap nearly 2 seconds slower, so that's possibly damage, I have to see. So really enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the race. Hope to be back next weekend. Thanks very much to Ghost Hunter for being the director and Washi for inviting me. Next time up we'll go to Catalonia for the 3rd round of the season, so I hope you can join us there. Bye for now.